Tame Pokemon no one will ever catch or own. From a Pokemon that can destroy the entire world to this Pokemon that can make a storm last for 40 days. These are Pokemon you could never catch or own. Tell me, why would anyone ever think it's possible to catch the literal god of Pokemon? The Huisuian mythology states that Arceus is the creator of all things, and Arceus lives up to its reputation as the god of Pokemon by catching the most difficult Pokemon to catch. It has 18 different forms, one for each type. In Arceus and the Jewel of Life, this Pokemon had the power to destroy the entire world and the fabric of time and space. This is a Pokemon that would rather kill itself and destroy the entire world than surrender to anyone. Even Ash and his team are living proof of that. Tackless at Pokemon Legends Arceus True Final Boss Arceus. You have to complete all the main story missions, and after that, catch every Pokemon in the game before you can face the final boss, Arceus. I don't think I can handle that. You will also need to dodge the fast and powerful attacks that Arceus lays down and use short windows to throw bombs. After each threshold has been reached, players will need to face it in battle and defeat it up to 4 times. This encounter alone makes Arceus the most difficult Pokemon to catch, so don't even dream of it. And even after you complete the final level, you can't capture Arceus, but you will be gifted with a Legend Plate that allows that Pokemon to gain the power of every type there is. But I don't think that works on Mewtwo, another deadly Pokemon. Ash tried to capture it once, but Mewtwo didn't last up to 5 seconds before it came out of the Pokeball. Oops, what a huge miss! Mewtwo is historically one of the most difficult Pokemon to catch in the games. Since Pokemon Red and Blue, Mewtwo was an in-game optional legendary to capture that presents a notable challenge. It was well hidden in the depths of the Cerulean Cave, and after players go through a considerable amount of exploration and encounters, they can take on the 150th Pokemon. Mewtwo is usually encountered at level 70, and being the main legendary in the games. Must I go through all that for a Pokemon I can't catch? I don't even want to go near Tapu Bulu. Not only does this Pokemon share a low catch rate with the rest of the Guardian deities and most legendary creatures in the franchise, Tapu Bulu has an annoyingly high ATK stat. A player can have their whole team wiped out due to Tapu Bulu's powerful attacks. It's not even advisable to catch a deity. Manaphy is another difficult Pokemon to catch. It was born with a wondrous power that can make it bond with anyone. With how cute this Pokemon is, I don't think I'll be able to resist it if it tries to make friends with me. On the other hand, Manaphy's stats is the definition of perfection. From HP to speed is 100. This means not only can it last longer in battle, but a single move from Manaphy can do a lot of damage to you. Now I understand why the evil gang with its leader, the Phantom, tried to steal Manaphy's egg in the anime, but they failed. Manaphy is the heir to the Temple Samia's riches and the key to unlocking other secret places in the sea. I dare you to go catch a Prince of the Sea. That would be legendary, just like Galarian Articuno. With its blue appearance and wings with long and distinctive tail feathers, supposedly made of ice, Articuno is also able to control ice. The flapping of its wings causes air to chill. That's so cool! But when Articuno flies, the snow will fall. That's why in Japan, this Pokemon is known as the Freezer. Articuno has lower stats than Arceus, but with the same catch rate of 3%, it will prove a challenge to catch. You would not want to waste your time on that. Neither do you want to waste time on Swirlix. Trust me, you don't want to waste 15 Pokeballs catching a mediocre Pokemon I'll never evolve or use. This Pokemon is a glutton, so catching it will only cost you more. I also have to remind you that there's a Pokemon that created itself. That's Regigigas, also the creator of the legendary giants Regis, Regirock, and Registeel. That alone should tell you that this Pokemon is a no-no. Its Pokédex entry for Sword and Shield explains that all over the world, there are legends that tell of Regigigas creating other Pokemon in its own image. It's said that Regigigas created other Pokemon from many different materials before it moved the continents to where they are today. Imagine trying to catch one Regigigas, not knowing that millions of them are around you hiding somewhere. Never get Regigigas angry. And if you think catching Regigigas is hard, try catching a Pokemon that literally lives at the foot of a rainbow. I'm talking about Ho-Oh. Legends claim that this Pokemon flies the world skies continuously on its magnificent 7-color colored wings. Another legend claims that its body glows in 7 colors. A rainbow is said to form behind it when it flies. It means to get this Pokemon, you must first catch a rainbow. I never heard of anyone that could do that. Then there is a stack of coins you can't even catch no matter how much you try. Trying to catch Goldango is like hunting for a treasure you will never own. Goldango is a Pokemon made out of 1,000 gold coins. The crazy part is that it is easy to make friends with this Pokemon, but you would wonder why you can't catch it or own it. That is because Goldango knows its enemies and friends. It overwhelms its enemies by firing coin after coin at them in quick succession. Judging from its base stats, you can see that its speed attack would do a lot of damage to its enemies. Just don't get on Goldango's bad side. Neither would I dare capture a Suicune. Suicune is said to represent the rain that quenched the flames of the burning brass tower. I don't know what these Pokemon hunters were thinking. If it was that easy to capture Suicune, I would have done it long ago. The legendary beast made sure that the Pokemon hunters and their Pokemon paid for their crimes. Rest assured that you can't catch Suicune. But if you wanted to fight side by side with you, then be like Go and just ask.
Will you really fight alongside me?
But I can't say the same for Deoxys. It is an alien in the Pokemon world. Its Pokédex in Alpha Sapphire explains that Deoxys emerged from a virus that came from space. It is highly intelligent and wields psychokinetic powers. This Pokemon shoots lasers from the crystalline organ on its chest. That's not even all. Deoxys has 4 forms: normal form, attack form, defense form, and speed form. And it can change between its forms by interacting with certain meteorites. Now, there is this other Pokemon that even hides in the sea because its powers are too strong. That's Lugia! When they fight over territory, Lugia is the only Pokemon that can quell their ceaseless fighting. It possesses the ability to control the weather. It can also calm and give rise to storms. It's said that a light flutter of its wings is capable of causing winds powerful enough to tear a regular house down. If it were to flap its wings, it could hypothetically spawn storms lasting as long as 40 days. Now, that's not a Pokemon you would want to mess with. Except, if you want to have terrible nightmares for the rest of your life, then I could hire Darkrai for you. It is the master of nightmares. Darkrai is known for its inhabit dreams and causes the target to have unending nightmares. It can lull people to sleep and make them dream, especially during the new moon. So beware. Folklore has it that on moonless nights, this Pokemon will make people see horrific nightmares. Don't even try entering its territory. You may not survive. There's also another deity Pokemon you cannot catch. In fact, this Pokemon controls space. That is Palkia. Its Pokédex explains that space becomes more stable with Palkia's every breath. Plus, it has the ability to distort space. I guess the fact that no one has ever caught this Pokemon is the reason we still exist in this world. Another legendary Pokemon no one will ever catch is Enamorus. Enamorus is known as the Herald of Spring and God of Spring. It has 2 forms, Incarnate form and Therian form. Therian form Enamorus is known to be vengeful to those who disrespect any forms of life. It will descend from the clouds and deliver a wrathful, ruthless punishment in the process. Be happy you're alive so Enamorus won't come for you. Next on the list is Rayquaza. Rayquaza lived for hundreds of millions of years in Earth's ozone layer, never descending to the ground. This Pokemon appears to feed on water and particles in the atmosphere. I haven't even lived 100 years, and it doesn't even sound wise to make attempts to capture a Pokemon that has lived more than 100 years. As for Groudon, its Pokédex says it all. Groudon has the power to scatter rain clouds and make water evaporate with light and heat. It came as a savior to people who have been suffering from terrible floods. Groudon has appeared in mythology as the creator of the land. It sleeps in magma underground and is said to make volcanoes erupt on awakening. That's wild! Funny enough, Groudon actually fought for its space with Kyogre. This Pokemon has the power to create massive rain clouds. Kyogre is named in mythology as the Pokemon that expanded the sea by covering the land with torrential rains and towering tidal waves. Kyogre has appeared in mythology as the creator of the sea. After long years of feuding with Groudon, it took to sleep at the bottom of the sea. This Pokemon is said to have expanded the sea by bringing heavy rains. It also has the power to control water. That's better than having to face Giratina. I've never been a fan of Ghost and Dragon-type Pokemon. They scared the bejesus out of me. This Pokemon Pokemon was even banished for its violence. You can imagine the damage it had caused. Now it lives in a world on the reverse side of ours, where common knowledge is distorted and strange. It silently gazed upon the old world from the distortion world. I think it's waiting for its next prey, or enemies. You must be shocked after seeing the Pokemon you can never catch. But check out this video if you want to see secrets that Pokemon tried to hide from you. See you there!